Hey everyone, this is Lisa and Nancy, and today we are here at Distortions as part of our Love Your Parks tour.
This is the best.
Are we distorted?
Yes.
We are quite distorted, but you aren't going to believe this, but it's true. We are here as part of our Love Your Parks tour Mission Possible Story series. Bobbi DePorter, the co-founder of SuperCamp, and also the founder and creator of the 8 Keys of Excellence Character Education program, wanted us to go around the country as we travel to parks and communities and to find stories about the youth. What are communities doing for youth, and what are youth doing in communities? And here at Distortions, they're doing a lot for kids, not only scaring them during Halloween, but they do all kinds of amazing costumes, and also are part of what is called Monster Days here in Greeley, Colorado. Now we've got Marsha and Ed, and we've also got Michelle here. Now, Michelle, you are from the Colorado Model Train Museum, right? It's a model train museum.
Right. It's America's largest model railroad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See?
It's amazing. And we're neighbors with Distortions.
Yes,
we're just
well,
down the tracks.
Oh, okay. Now, do you ever take the model trains and bring them here?
We should.
Yeah.
We could.
You could put monsters on the train.
I don't think it'll end well.
We have put monsters on our train. They were just miniature monsters.
Oh, cool.
right?
Made by the Nerd Store here in town.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Oh, wow. You have a nerd store?
We have a Nerd Store too.
This is getting even better.
I know. Monsters and nerds.
I know.
It's a new dish.
Marsha, tell us a little bit about the beginning of Distortions.
Oh, wow. We've been in business 40 years and started just with masks. Just back in the day in the 70s, masks, hands, and then we grew into animatronics and big props, and yeah, we make huge stuff now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, this is pretty big because I know you were working and you were saying that we can't photograph some of these things in here because this is for Alice Cooper.
Right.
So this is, you do haunted houses a lot, but then you're also working with musicians?
Well, yeah, we've done stuff for Alice. We do stuff for one of my favorite clients is Dick Van Dyke, because you wouldn't expect it. And we do stuff for theme parks, and we do stuff all over the world. Where's that stuff going today? Singapore. You know, they're getting an electric chair and a screen generator. It's just amazing.
An electric chair.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with some of this stuff that goes in strange places, but you know,
It's fun.
we don't care. We don't care. We just cash the check.
So people call in and say, hey, I need you to make this kind of thing, or do you sit there and go, let's make this kind of thing?
Well, scream generator and shake and bake, those are standard things
Shake
we
and bake.
make. That's the electric
Well,
chair.
it's electric chair.
I'm sorry, but yes.
That was my idea. I liked it.
But anyway,
Shake and bake and I help.
Okay, this is a shake and bake model.
Listen, I had to push for that name. Because I thought it was very clever, and they're like, no, you can't do that. That's it. Well, maybe we'll get sued. I didn't care. It was too good a name.
You didn't kill anybody.
No.
No, not at all. But yeah, so those are standard things that we make, but we do custom also.
Oh, okay.
Like all this stuff for Alice, that's all custom.
That's custom.
stuff.
And do you enjoy doing that part? It gets all creative and...
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We do and we don't. It's very frustrating work because you're creating something, and there's always a series of problems. But at the end of the day, it's pretty cool.
That is cool. I mean, there are some crazy things in there, and you just want to hang out because you're making props that move. It's
Right.
beyond the masks and everything. Now, Monster Days. When we first chatted with Amy and Jen, Amy is with Visit Greeley. So everyone, to see where we are, go to visitgreeley.org, and Jen is with Discover Weld. So that is Weld County where we are. So you can check that out at discoverweld.com. And what's your website? So everybody knows.
Well,
so on
it's
that train.
distortionsunlimited.com.
Unlimited, of course,
Yes.
right? If you're going to be distorted, you might as well go all
Well, it's time
all the
to
way.
get to that limited point, but we'll see how far we get.
And then, your website?
Oh, we're
Michelle?
cmrm.org for Colorado Model Railroad Museum.
Okay, we got to give shout-outs to everyone
Thank you.
here. But, when you think about making these masks and these creative things, and then coming here to Greeley, Michelle was telling us, okay, you called her up and said, hey, I've got this crazy idea, and then tell us about that beginning part, or one of you tell us whose idea was this for Monster Days, because one of the first things we saw about Greeley was Monster Days.
And
Yeah,
we're
it's
like,
not
we're
That's
funny.
what
going
Amy
there.
and Jen were telling us about on a
That's the
radio
first
show.
thing. It was like, we're going
there.
Right.
And,
I hope we don't soil Greeley's reputation, but yes, we I was reading a book of Don Post, a book on Don Post, who started Halloween Mass in the world, really, besides the African tribes and things, but I mean as far as commercially available. And he had done a thing called Monster Days in probably 60s, 70s. And I thought, wow, the girls all have princess stuff. Maybe the young boys, they're just home playing video games. I thought, well, this would be fun. And so we did this thing. Well, first it started, I walked into, the first meeting was at the diner downtown, and I'm thinking, okay, I got to do a sales pitch. So I figure I'm going to go in a mask and a lab coat, in a professional, and walk in on the meeting and show them what it's like to have monsters on the street. And I'm thinking, that made an impression somewhat. And then I sat down to do the sales pitch, and there was no sales pitch. These guys had it all. They were like, all right, great, what are we doing? And I'm like, this is different, because this is so weird for a city to accept this. It was very surprising to me, because we're talking about some pretty strange stuff. And so we just started this thing, and it exploded, and turns out it's not just for kids, and it's certainly not just for boys. It's boys, girls, mom, dad, grandma, everybody showed up. And
the stereotype was broken.
Yeah, it was. No, listen, I admit it. I had that stereotype, because when I was young, it was just boys that were the monster nerds, and I don't know. That's all different now. There's women involved in special effects makeup. That was, and I knew that, of course, but it was a stereotype breaker, and it took me getting home and looking at the video before I realized that what we had done. And so for whatever reason, people really love it, and we love doing it, and the city is just allowing us to go crazy, and it's really a city function. I mean, we help out with the monsters, but they make it happen, because there's no way we could close down streets and advertise to the city. So it's a really cool thing. But at the core of it, we felt like, well, it's not, sure, that's fun to have this big monster party and all, but at the core of it, there is an organization, a nonprofit organization in Denver, so, an hour away, called Don't Be a Monster. And so we thought, how perfect is that to associate Monster Day with Don't Be a Monster and have it serve a purpose rather than just fun. And so they're wonderful anti-bullying operation, and they go out to schools and really kind of like hip haunter kids. They're old, they're 20s probably, but they're like hip, and so the kids relate to them, and they talk about it. They've got great videos online. Don't Be a Monster is one of the best organizations ever, and it just happened to work out for us. So.
And
it's called don'tbeamonster.org. Yeah. And so as the committee, those of us that work on Monster Day, we all went when Don't Be a Monster came to one of our local middle schools. And we were super impressed. It was just a real experience to see 600 middle schoolers be silent for 30 minutes.
Unbelievable.
And focused and listen. Yeah. And the message was great. They used Frankenstein as their so Frankenstein's in middle school. And in their videos, he's getting bullied. And the videos are very, very well done. They've got the right amount of humor and the right amount of to the point. And on the way out, every kid went and high-fived Frank, because then they bring Frank out. He's there with them. Yes. The one from the video, he comes into the gym, and the kids all get their pictures with them. And it was a great day. Yeah. And so we feel really strongly that it's a good thing for our community.
Well, it seems to be working. It makes an impression, because the monster really cements it in their minds. But the funny thing is the monster is the picked on one. And it's the kids that can be monsters. And I think it's an important message. But that's not just their monster. They realize that a lot of these kids that are bullies have had family problems and things. So it deals with all of it, but it does it in a way that's very, very memorable and
kind of puts everybody in an even playing field. Would you say that, Marsha, when you have this kind of event?
Right. Yeah. They, like Ed said, what I like about the organization is, they're not just dealing with the kids being bullied. They're dealing with the kids that are bullying. And that seems to be just as important to them. And
it's a cycle.
Yeah. It's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
Right. If you can stop the bullies, the problem's over. Yeah. If they go, I guess that is bad.
I think the bullies are the ones that are insecure, or they wouldn't be bullies. So they're the ones who need more help in a way.
Right.
you know.
Right, education
No,
and health.
that's right. And you don't know what they've been through. You know, it's easy to just, well, I wouldn't do that. Well, you would if you were them, because you'd be them and you'd have done it. So, it's
We were
I
probably
like
all
that.
bullies at one time. You know, I mean, probably.
I was perfect.
You know what I'm saying?
Were you perfect?
Yeah.
Can I have your autograph?
No, because I think I can't spell. Now tell us a little bit about the school system here, because education, I know we just did an interview now with Peggy the historian about the founding of Greeley and these principles, and education was one of them, and so was temperance apparently.
We're also the first to get rid of temperance.
Yeah, I know. We got rid of that. But when it comes to the education side, I'd see you've got a university here, right?
We do, and we had the state's first normal school, the teaching school, the school for teachers. They called it a normal school back then, but that was the university for teachers, and we had the first one in the state.
Okay.
And now that's UNC today. That's the University of Northern Colorado today, but that's what it started out as.
Wasn't the Women's Club involved with creating a school as well for teachers to be taught?
I think so, yes.
There was a women's school that started at the elementary, junior high, and high school level, but it wasn't the college. So they did it as a community, and then we already had our university in place.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So it's a pretty interesting how the education part.
Education is huge in Greeley. In fact, I don't know if you know about the Greeley Promise. We started our first intern today. The city of Greeley actually works to help kids that are juniors going to be seniors get summer internships with businesses in our community.
Oh, excellent.
And it's a city-funded program. And so we have one at the museum right now that we have all summer, and it gets and there's one at Visit Greeley right now, and it gets these kids work experience and really good life experience and just characteristic development. You know, there's leadership development in there, and just getting them to understand before they get to college and have to make the decision of what they want to do. They get these experiences, and Greeley's a really unique city to do that.
Don't you work with that too, Amy, over at the Chamber of Commerce?
Right. So the young man you met,
Yes.
Shane, had started with us on Monday. We brought him to the Monster Day meeting yesterday morning, and he totally jumped into it. He's excited to be there. He's a junior going into his senior year at Northridge High School. And this morning, just to give you an example, I gave him 5 minutes of instructions on how to build a flyer for me. And doggone it, if he did not build me
a 2-page
exact flyer that I was looking for.
See that?
It's pretty. He's got design. He's got skills.
He has
skills. He's got skills.
Right. He told the story of Greeley in 2 pages.
Can we take him on the road?
Call his mom.
We need some help. I know, right? I know. See, but that to me is, getting to work together, and I think it's also important because that gets adults talking with the younger community and giving them that responsibility part. Do you have the youth do any part? So when this Monster Days happens, so everybody comes out dressed as monsters as they want. I know you both Ed and Marsha, you do a lot of props, right? For this.
Oh, yes.
So you got some craziness going, which is good.
Photo ops galore.
Do you have youth that actually volunteer to help put this on?
We've had a few, but we're organizing that better since this is only our 3rd year.
This is your 3rd year, so how many people come out, do you think?
Well, so really interesting story.
Yeah.
The first year, when Ed talked about coming into to Doug's Diner that day and saying, "We have an idea. We should."
By
do
the way,
Monster
Doug's
Day."
Diner rocks. I just want to say that. So good.
And he did come in as a crazy scientist, and he said, "We have monsters in our life from the moment we watched Sesame Street."
Yeah, that's right.
Up to the things we dream of today, and it's all about curiosity and imagination and expanding your world. And we went, yes, before he even finished his sentence.
I know.
because it was so unique to who we are, and so authentic to what really Greeley is and what we do. We're so about who we are and not being someone else. Right. And I think that's why "Don't Be a Monster" really resonates with us too.
That's integrity.
It's
It's integrity. The first key of excellence is integrity.
Is integrity. And I think that's, even when we talk about the education and all of that, we're so much more of a community that's community minded, I think, than most today.
I think what was so fun about the first meeting is not only was it Marsha and Ed was there, you were there as part of, our tourist expert, so that's for Michelle. City of Greeley from the Greeley Unexpected campaign was with us. We had the downtown development folks, who is where we put this on, which is downtown. And the nice thing about Greeley is we do all work well together because we want to see this community succeed. And back to your point, Michelle, we know who we are and we want to expand who we are and not let anybody change who we are.
Good point.
Yeah.
Well, in case in point, we're working with Blazing Illuminations, and they do a lot of stuff like lighting some of the big buildings down in Denver and different things with lighting. And they came out of the first meeting and they go, we work with a lot of cities and they don't work together like this one. I said, really? They don't? Yeah. No, I can tell you there's a lot of infighting and stuff, and they were really impressed. So, it's allowed this thing to just kind of take off because nobody knows what it is. It's not defined. So we're kind of like, hey, how about this? And so that one of the guys that does that works at Universal does their makeup and things. He comes out every year with his crew. And he calls me on the phone. He goes, hey, I got this great idea. We should do dueling. We should dress me, Ed, and him dress like cowboys and come on stage and do dueling sculptures. Now, this ridiculous, stupid idea, but it's going to be funny and stupid. And but we can do that because nobody's set the rules yet. So that's one of the things that's fun about Monster Day.
Yeah, and to your point of how it developed. So we thought we need a mascot at some of our first
meetings, right.
So we came up with the Greeley Gremlin.
Well, the Greeley Gremlin is super
which
cool.
was in my car when I first met you guys.
No, so you guys were talking about there were gremlins. I thought you were talking about your kids.
Oh yeah.
We got in the car and there was the gremlins in the car.
No, you said I've had gremlins in my car all day, and I thought you thought kids. I just didn't know. And then I got in the car. I'm like, oh cool. Hey.
So they created the Gremlin, and so we really anticipated an event of maybe 500 people would come out on this Saturday evening and just do this Monster Day thing, like he said, unscripted, just doing what we do. So they created the Greeley Gremlin, and they actually made them for us, and we started doing some social media posts just for fun. Hey, Monster Day's coming, here's a Gremlin. And everybody got really curious and started sharing them. And then the day of Monster Day, we really think we had, about 5,000 people show up to what we expected, 500 people, which the restaurants ran out of food.
They didn't have
monsters get hungry. It's hard work. It's hard work. So this year, in August? It happens in August.
It happens in August.
So
usually the third Saturday or the fourth Saturday.
Third or fourth Saturday of August. So you have a website for Monster Days, or
we do. It's monsterdaygreeley.com.
Monsterdaygreeley.com, and so you've got Greeley Gremlins running around, and they're cute. Priscilla, our little pink sock monkey mascot, hung out with the Gremlin. Gigi is his name. At the Chamber of Commerce, we put them behind bars, but they weren't really, the depot. It's the old train depot, but it looks like they're in jail together.
Nice.
I think, she gets in trouble, and she can be a bully sometimes. So I think she had a good tour behind the scenes here, and learned not to be a bully.
Good.
Because she floats the line between diva and bully. So we have had to have a few conversations with her.
Yes.
Putting her in the skull mouth probably shaped her right up.
Kind of made her realize that.
You either shape up or I bite.
Yeah.
So we have to put her to bed every so often.
Oh, yes, I can
carry
see that.
her little casket around here.
Casket? She's got a casket? Well
then. The cat. We see the cat.
There's a cat in the office, and the cat knows Priscilla's here.
She's been attacked by a cat before.
Walter, the town cat of Exeter, California.
Cats really like
They like to disembowel.
That's interesting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just want to give you some more ideas.
I just use them all. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for showing us around your factory.
No, thank you for coming.
Introducing us to aliens and all these cool Frankenstein and all these cool characters, and just what awesome work. And congratulations, you guys, Greeley, you guys rock with what you're doing.
They sure do. We really appreciate them.
Nancy and Lisa, and of course Priscilla. This is Bobbi DePorter, co-founder of SuperCamp. Well done on completing another installment of your Youth Success Story Series.